We're gonna need some more wine. The book, that is. We're gonna need some more wine by Gabrielle Union. So hey y'all, it's Gail. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, and hit that little bell so you're notified every single time I post a new video. So like I said, we're gonna need some more wine by Gabrielle Union. You already know. This book is like, you know, when you have that conversation with your friends, you sit down, you're older, maybe college age, maybe afterwards, and you talk about childhood. And especially, you know, like being a woman, how like we kind of had to navigate going from girlhood to womanhood by yourself. Because most of us, the most our mom did was maybe hand us some pads or hand us a Judy Blume book. So we're gonna need some more wine. It's just like that. I felt like, first of all, I always felt like Gabrielle Union was like my homegirl. And so, and the book definitely feels like I'm sitting down with her in the living room with a glass of wine, talking about childhood. And so what I love is like she really takes us on a journey, right? And I feel like she takes us on a typical, you know, Black girl journey. She grew up, you know, mostly in a white neighborhood, and she talks about the talk, about how you have to be 2 times better, 10 times better to, you know, be looked at as equal to your white classmates. And if you, it's funny because I had the same experience. So, you know, you went to a white elementary school, predominantly white elementary school, and then you had your time with your Black cousins and your Black friends. And I guess like all Black families did that. So, you know, they wanted to progress and they wanted to provide more opportunities for their children and still let them maintain their Blackness. So I'm guessing that's why the story is so familiar. It feels like my story. And so then you go and with your cousins who might not, you know, be in the, you know, the middle class neighborhoods, and then you learn how to be Black. And so then I don't know, it's like a subconscious thing, you know, when you go back to your white classmates, you don't share those experiences and you don't let on to those experiences. And then when you go back to your, you know, your Black cousins or your mom's friends, whatever, you don't really share those experiences. So it's like you're living 2 different lives. And then when you're in, you know, the predominantly white space, you try to tone down your Blackness. You try to blend in. You don't want to remind them that you're Black. And it's so weird that we develop all these things as a child. Like, how do you, like, you're the brain, the mind, like I think we don't give ourselves enough credit for like how complex of a creature we are. Because like as a child, elementary school, like, you know, this seems like something high functioning that you would do as an adult, but really not. And so then I felt like I had this experience. Then you just realize, like, you know, I'm Black and I want to be Black and I don't want to hide that Blackness. And so, you know, she takes us through being really close with your friends and like not your family, and like, and then again living this double life where you're probably like a little angel and, you know, do everything your parents say, and then like she was, you know, smoking weed and drinking alcohol underage. And then she talks about, you know, being a darker skinned woman and you know, wanting the affection of men, and usually lighter skinned men who didn't at the time, I guess, value or see value in dating someone with darker skin, and feeling like a prize almost, and feeling like you live and die by the opinion of boys, definitely not men, but of boys. And so you thought it was cool that they picked you. And even though, like, it's like not that because I'm smart and because I do this in school, you know, this extracurricular activity, have these moral values, but well, they picked me because I'm darker skinned, so that means I'm worth something. And like I said, just living in that space, it's not a fun space, because it isn't a place of value and respect, right? It's like you're living and dying by what somebody else thinks, and that's never a good place. And then taking crap from guys that you shouldn't, but you're like, oh, they chose me, she was like, they chose me, so I need to take this and take this and take this, and and she talks about her embarrassment. And I just think it's like amazing to get to a space where like you're able to share these stories. And like I said before, and like I said a million times, with strangers, with just people, whoever picks up this book is gonna read these stories. And she even talks about, I want you to laugh, I want you to cry, I want you to cringe, and I definitely feel like I've done all of those things. And then she keeps transitioning, and I love it. I love the storyline. And she chronicles the time that she was raped, and I mean with detail. And I'm in awe at being able to relive that experience like that. I couldn't imagine. That's one of my biggest fears. And so to like write it down, and like I said, really to go into detail. And I talked about another book where they had talked about like molestation ordeal, and it was not as detailed, and I know the mom blocks things out, especially traumatic experiences. And so for her to like unlock those doors and go there with us, you just felt it. And I just appreciate her honesty. Then she talks into acting, and what I love is I feel like she didn't make it seem like, oh, something was extraordinary about me that now I'm an actress. And it really felt like kind of like a haphazardly thing, like, hey, I just went to this audition and then this happened and now I'm this big mega star. And I think it's so cool. And why I say that is because I feel like sometimes as Black people, they try to separate us. Like if a Black person reaches this pinnacle, on this ladder, on this white supremacist patriarchy ladder that should not exist, it's like, oh, well, it's because you're different, it's because you're better, and like separating us from each other, to where like it's not as big of a deal for especially with like a Shonda Rhimes, like it's like she's a Black producer, like black. And to where like they don't do that with white men especially, but they don't do that with white people. Like it's their color and then their title, or their race and then their title. And so I thoroughly enjoyed that. And then which I didn't know, takes us through her first marriage and just all the toxicity, the lack of communication, how it wasn't a great situation. She even knew going into the wedding, like walking down the aisle, like I shouldn't be getting married, but the pressures and the ordeal, the I have to be at this certain place in life. And then he had status at the time, and so why wouldn't you want to be with this type of person? And so breaking up and then really finding herself. And also she chronicles like being a Black woman in Hollywood, and at first tearing down other Black women, because the roles were scarce, especially coming up at first. And so I guess she felt that was her way to stand out, and also a way to hide her own insecurities, and just being frank and honest, and even calling out people that she did tear down. I thought that was like amazing. That was just totally honest. And then to call yourself out, like she called herself out in front of millions of people who read this book. It's a New York Times bestseller, and so she called herself out and said that she was wrong, and that's amazing. And then getting to a place where she's moving out of all this toxicity, from that marriage, from being the type of Black woman that tears down other Black women to advance. And and then finally getting to a place where she was able to meet somebody like D. Wade and appreciate and enjoy and be present and be herself and be unapologetically herself. And I still mess it up, unapologetically herself. And And when you are your purest self, when you're not worried about what other people think, when you're not worried about their opinion or if they accept you or they don't accept you, then that's when you welcome love. And she doesn't talk about, the time they broke up and the situation. So, you still don't know about that. But I even think that's dope to, like, you guys. All right, I let you guys in on a whole lot, but this part is none of you guys' business. So. I also enjoy and appreciated how, even with her and D-Wade's elitism, or, just being at a certain place in life, being a celebrity, being well known, about her being afraid of raising black boys. And she even talks about how, if they get stopped, she told them if they get stopped by cops, tell them that you're D-Wade's son. Like, knowing that name is probably the only thing that's going to save those black boys from, being a hashtag is, it's chilling. And it's like, when you are black, and I don't have children yet, but of course I want children. Of course I want to raise black boys. And, I have my nephews, my brothers and stuff like that. And so you feel it in your bones, you feel it in your heart, where she's coming from. And it's sad too, you think like, wow, like that's what we really have to go through. And that's, the reality of the world that we're in, even for a celebrity like a Gabrielle Union and a D-Wade. And so definitely, if you're looking for a book that makes you feel like you're talking to your best friend, this is the book for you. Let me know in the comments, how you've navigated through this experience, like when we had to like teach ourselves, and like how you want to do different for your children. Hopefully, I want to be my children's best friend. So like, I definitely don't see myself just handing them some pads or a book to teach them about their womanhood. Like, she talks about how she had to learn, her lady parts from a friend, like, and it's funny, and it's like I said before, you can laugh about it now because like you've healed, you've gotten to a place where you're like, all right, and calling out your childhood doesn't mean that you don't have good parents and that you wasn't raised well, they didn't do the best that they could. Like, they absolutely did. And so we always have to build on the last generation. So like I always say, I'm just glad of this generation for wanting therapy, wanting to be better for their children, interacting more with your children, seeing your children as people. Like, all those things, just are gonna help build the black culture, build the black community. So again, please subscribe to my channel, Sit with Scale. Let your friends know. Got some more exciting things coming up. So I've been working hard behind the scenes, so I cannot wait to bring you guys some more videos. And Sit with Scale next Thursday.